wrote down a quote that you had because I think it's so powerful. You were talking about how the problem with Democrats has largely been trying to meet Republicans in the middle. And you said we're starting to see how having strong, bold choices is better than being anti-Trump. And I found that so refreshing because yes, there is a laundry list of things we could talk about to be upset at Trump about, right? Like, I know you're covering the Epstein files and all of that that's going on right
It's
now
like
is,
being a food critic. Like, you're complaining that the food sucks. Make me a dish. Give me something else
yeah,
to eat.
give me
The
something to be
lasagna, like,
excited
the
about.
lasagna's burnt. It's probably got E. coli, but I'm hungry. I need something, and just give us anything that's edible that's better
Yes.
than that. And instead they're like, "How about burnt bolognese?" And it's like, the answers are so simple.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's like, they've done this thing where they can rest on being anti-Trump, and it's like the
Yeah.
reason he exists and will continue to exist in other iterations is not a good alternative.
Right. And like you said, people are hungry for revolution. People are hungry, period. Right? And that is the universal like common denominator. That is the equalizer. Like when people feel unheard and unsafe, they're going to let you know, and being in the pockets of billionaires is not good for anybody.
Yes,
Um
what's funny is I got a lot of people that think, "Oh, AOC, she's got no chance," and I'm like, "You don't understand how, if presented in front of the whole Republican Party, she steals a lot of votes." Like, you don't
yeah.
understand that to speak as a populist, the left calls it progressives, and then, like, you have true progressives like Bernie, who really
Mhm.
wants to have, like, aggressively tax the billionaires, and it is like tax the ultra wealthy to ways that it used to work. And then you've got the fake populists like Trump, who's like, we're going to drain the swamp, and then they don't actually do it, and everything's like a carve out, and it's like it's not a system that works long term. The people that voted for him, like, I have a lot of family that went Bernie to Trump, and a lot of people don't understand how that works, because on the flat line, you can't see how someone could leap from a mid to far left position over to a mid to far right position. And it's because we're not looking at it right. It's three dimensional. And this
Yeah.
large group of people, they want, safety and the economy and affordability and all these things. And I've been there because I've been in situations where I've had a social safety net, whether it's through unemployment, growing up when my mom had to get on food stamps, during the pandemic when we got paid to kind of sit on our ass for a few months while they figure things out. Like, that pot needs to be there and be reliable. We need
Yeah.
farmers that feel confident if they need to upgrade their barn, that they'll be able to. And how many, living here in Tennessee, how many people started upgrading their barns and were building things because they had this infrastructure act, and then it got taken away from them. There were literally, like, loans were taken away, and and it's like, eh, I'm not in this. A lot of people online want to say, this is what you voted for. That doesn't get us, like, if you look at our country as a big family, people will understand they were duped when you stop telling them and let them kind of get out of the quicksand.
Yeah.
And it's like, someone's in the quicksand, you're like, you stepped in that, you deserve this. It's like, Bubba, we all got to get out of this so that we can be a part of a coalition that actually demands, some aid for the middle class, the lower class.
Yeah. Well, and it goes back to the basic humanity piece, which is, I think, exactly what you're talking about, and the framework that connects your work with The Bachelor and with politics, that it ultimately is about human beings and this human experience. And if you drill it down to the simplest one-on-one human interaction, no one likes to hear, I told you so. Don't, like, you back a dog into the corner and they're going to bite you. It's like, think about these simple pro-social things that we understand. And there's this difficulty in expanding those out to this higher level. But I absolutely agree with you. That's like, let's take a pause and really assess what it is that people are yearning for in this. And I just love the push that you've had in your content to be about that underlying cause, that underlying humanity. And what what do you think it is that tapped you into that? Because of course I'm obsessed with these big questions. Like what is that underlying root that
I
that
think I'm
unites
just
us
as
all?
I think I'm just as oriented. I have an uncle who's a priest. I have a family that's very religious, and I could call them tomorrow and be like, "Hey, 200 bishops, 200 archbishops all just said what ICE is doing is wrong." They'd go, "Well, blah, blah, blah." Like there's it's so when you see how strong the resistance, like certain people just have their radios in their car tuned to a frequency,
Yeah,
and that frequency of hate and fear takes a while to deprogram. It really does. And that's okay. Like that's okay. It's as much as we would like some political leader to have a speech tomorrow that changes everybody's
right.
minds, that's not always going to happen. And the find out stage of FAFO right now is a time that's important, like Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving's one of my favorite holidays because it's, hey, we're just gonna say what we're grateful for, and don't forget the meaning of that. Like, what's with this gratitude? Like, where are we today? We're with our families, like the things that really matter. But I hope that a lot of people will have conversations and they'll see that uncle that's didn't harvest their soybeans this year. They'll see
yeah,
so and so, the families that lived in fear for that 1 week they didn't get SNAP benefits, or whatever the case may be.
right.
And I think I have faith that with all of that deprogramming comes a country that sees this whole culture war around Doge, getting rid of USAID because we were sending peanut butter to some countries in Africa, for emergency famines. We were getting so upset about that. We didn't get a dollar back when it was all cut. The person in charge of it just became a trillionaire, and I think people really will understand this. And it's a lot to tie in. Like the Epstein files are about so many different things, but
Totally.
when it all comes together, you start to see the picture getting painted. That's like at some point the curtain does get exposed on the Wizard of Oz, and you see a exploitative billionaire from Queens, New York, who doesn't care what's happening to your kids in Alabama.
Yeah.
And at that point, every single person whose mind is shifted, you never see the polling go back.